Hello guys, welcome you all to Hear You Know Cris vlog, and also welcoming you all to this new episode of All to Know. And today's spotlight is on Tiwa Savage, but first, please do me a favor to click on the subscription and notification bell button. So like I said earlier, this episode's spotlight focuses on Tiwa Savage, who's one of the most prolific and best decorated female Afrobeat singer. I assume most of us knows her. However, this episode of All to Know about Tiwa Savage digs deeper to reveal to you all about Tiwa's journey from birth, her family, broken marriage and successful life. So cross your seatbelt and give your attention as we get into it.
Tiwa, whose birth name is Tiwa Tope Omolara Savage, was born on 5th of February 1980 in Lagos State, Nigeria. Tiwa is globally known for her success in Afro art, music, and in the Afro entertainment scene in general. Tiwa is the last of her parents' 4 children, and she's got 3 older brothers. Tiwa's first 10 years of her life was in Lagos State, to be precise. But after her 11th birthday, her mother in disguise told her they were visiting London for a vacation. But the narrative changed for Tiwa when she got to London and learnt they had just moved to remain and reside in London. According to Tiwa, growing in London was horrible at her. Her early days, as she had to go through a lot of high school bullying, cold weather, culture clash stigma, her English strong accent as of that time.
And then she was just like, we have to quickly go to London for a vacation before. And I'm like, yo, I was excited. I bragged to all my friends, blah, 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 blah. And when we got to London, she's like, yeah, we're staying here. And I was like, staying where? First of all, it's freezing cold. Like when I got there, it wasn't what I expected. And when I got to school, it was horrible. I was teased so bad. I was teased. They used to call me the African girl, African booty scratcher, foo-foo.
Tiwa confessed that, on 2 occasions as a teenager, she was tempted to attempt suicide. She also revealed that her dark skin as a teenager made her very insecure as she tried bleaching her skin. But her grounded personality had to scold that idea away from her little mind at the time. Tiwa's subjection to numerous bullying in high school was brought to her mother's awareness. However, Tiwa was wrong when she thought her mother would follow her to her high school and strike a warning to the teenage girls who bullied her, but instead, her mother only visited her high school to confront her bullies with preaching to them.
My mom would come, and these were like Jamaican girls, by the way. It wasn't like white girls. It was black Jamaican girls. And their parents would come, and mom would come, she would tie her hair with one Ankara, she would wear boo-boo, and she would wear turtleneck inside the boo because it's cold. And I'll just be like, oh my days, mom. And then she'll come and she'll say, you know, children of God should not be fighting each other. I'll be like, they're going to beat me up even more.
Tiwa psychologically suffering these bullies inspired an idea to hunt for a strategy that will make her bullies get off her back. That's where a guy named Kelvin from her high school came into the picture. Kelvin is a friend to her high school bullies, inasmuch as she has got a crush on Kelvin, but her primary intention was to get close to him, so Kelvin will be a sort of protection for her from the Jamaican girls that victimized and bullied her. Being close to Kelvin made her saw he was responsible for the high school singing group.
Then there was a guy I had a crush on, Kevin. His name was Kevin, and he used to hang out with these girls. I wanted to get the attention of the guy.
Just to please him. Tiwa opened her mouth and sang for the first time, and Kelvin was blown away, as Tiwa in numerous interviews has stated she never knew she can sing until that day, as nobody in the past has ever complimented her about her voice. It happened that as time went by, not only Kelvin but her high school authority also noticed Tiwa's effortless talent when she started representing her high school in numerous singing competitions, and this in return won her the freedom she dreamt of over her bullies, as they all in return wanted to be a part of Tiwa's circle. So word of mouth about Tiwa's talent kept on circulating around, and that brought about a recommendation to some agents who scout for good singers, and that's how Tiwa met with some artist repertoire who introduce her for a job that will have her singing as a backup vocalist to George Michael on live television broadcast. George Michael was one of the biggest pop icon in that era. The good thing for Tiwa was this didn't only give her respect, but she was also making money with her voice as she kept on doing numerous backup, singing and gigs for years. Even after high school, her vocal rendition and services helped her earn and also save money to add up to whatever financial support her mom was going to give her as she was preparing to move to the United States, where she got a scholarship to study music in the Berklee College of Music in Boston, Massachusetts. Moving to a new country alone doesn't always go smooth for many dream chasers out there, but the resilience of Tiwa kept her focused even when she had it rough as a student in Boston, as Tiwa's student visa doesn't permit her to work full-time but for only few hours a week. Once upon a time, Tiwa's friend who accommodated her kicked Tiwa off her apartment after a mild argument, with nowhere to sleep in the Boston freezing cold. Tiwa had to settle in a homeless shelter provided by a church to homeless people.
I was actually staying with a friend of mine. We had a huge argument, so they kicked me out. And I wasn't really eligible to be there because you have to have gone through like some really, like you have to come from something for them to put you there. And I went there and, you know, I was like, please, like, I'm from Africa. And yeah, they just put me up there about 6 months. Going to studio, recording, and, you know, I'll come back, I'll do like these odd restaurant jobs where they'll pay you cash.
She was there for 6 months as she did numerous black jobs in restaurants as a waiter, a cleaner. Even then, she kept on singing as backup vocalist at gigs and wedding. That helped her financially raise some money at the time she had graduated. At this point, Tiwa was ready to pursue her path in music, so she decided to move to New York, which was one of America's music hub at that time.
Tiwa's move to New York gave her a breakthrough as she was very available to any gig, songwriting contracts for big artists, while she also kept on recording her demo. At this point, an artist called Fantasia noticed her work and wanted to purchase one of the songs written by Tiwa, and somehow a record label executive who worked closely with Fantasia heard Tiwa's demo and gave Tiwa a deal for that song. In Tiwa's word, the deal gave her a fat check, which inspired her decision of relocating to California, Los Angeles, to be precise, as Tiwa only felt she has explored all what New York City had to offer musically to her at that time. In Los Angeles, Tiwa settled in quickly as the money she got from the deal enabled her to rent an accommodation and also buy a Toyota Yaris for herself to enhance her easy access to musical studios from one city to the other, as her work then entails rendering vocals and writing songs for artists. However, Tiwa had the intent of going back to London if she doesn't fulfill her dreams in Los Angeles. Tiwa Savage. In her word, wrote and recorded about 600 demo songs, as she distributed it herself to record labels and music executives who never cared to listen to her work. Luckily, one of the written songs got the attention of Monica, who was a big R&B singer at that time. Tiwa was later hired to render her vocal as a backup singer for one of Monica's songs. All these references led Tiwa to Babyface, another American pop superstar who Tiwa happened to work for as a vocalist. Babyface, admiring Tiwa's voice and talent, made him ask Tiwa her nationality, as Tiwa responded. Babyface immediately told Tiwa he's a big fan of Nigerian songs, as he mentioned the likes of Fela, D'banj, Two-Face, P-Square, and other few artists who were doing well with African sound at that moment. That's where Tiwa's new direction and path was awakened, as she felt Americans have got so many good singers, which made the music space for upcoming American artists very saturated. She immediately came to the conclusion that she doesn't have a place at that time in the American R&B music scene. Tiwa grew her interest on Nigerian songs with the intent to understand and write Pan-African contemporary songs. She intentionally tilted more on African gigs and party in Los Angeles. Tiwa Savage indulged in singing as an opener whenever big singers from Nigeria have their concerts in Los Angeles. It happened one day. Tiwa Savage went to a Timaya concert where she sang as one of the upcoming artists, and it was there she caught the eyes of who changed her life forever, and that person was later going to be Tiwa's ex-husband, and his name is T-Bills. Please, if you're enjoying this content, I plead to you to please smash the like button, and please don't forget share to your friends and loved ones.
T-Bills at that time was an influential figure in Nigerian music industry, but he resides in Los Angeles, California. Tiwa acquaintance with T-Bills had him encouraging Tiwa to travel to Nigeria as he made arrangements and scheduled multiple appointments for Tiwa to meet the big star makers in the Nigeria music industry at that time. 6 months later, Tiwa made the decision to move back to her motherland Nigeria to fight for a place in the Afro music industry. She met with top record label owners when she flew to Nigeria. In her own words, said she met with Don Jazzy, who refused to sign her. Same with WizKid's ex-boss Empire EME Records Banky W. Same with Storm Records, and she ran out of hope as she packed her bag in disappointment and flew back to Los Angeles to meet T-Bills, who at this point suggested to Tiwa Savage an idea to create their own record label in Los Angeles and make African songs they will send to a trusted promoter in Nigeria to have them played in radios and televisions. Tiwa accepted the offer as they decided to name the record label 323, which was the area code of where they resided in Los Angeles at the time. T-Bills used his influence to get a promotional deal with Flytime Entertainment to promote Tiwa's songs in Nigeria, while T-Bills and Tiwa did all the creatives from recording of the songs to shooting the video in Los Angeles, and it happened to be another Tiwa's best plan as they released Tiwa's first song. Tiwa sounded different from every other singer then, 'cause her sound was unique and was a fresh, catchy sound embodying a bit of the Western pop elements and Afro sound with a well-curated blend of Yoruba and English vocal. As Nigerians admired her sound, that gave birth to a new confidence in Tiwa to pursue her music as she followed that up with her second song entitled Love Me, and she surpassed the standards of her Gerst song. Tiwa was also featured on the remix of a very successful song by Flavor Nabania entitled Oyi. It was a favorite for Nigerian radios, and this particular song blew Tiwa Savage as a brand to neighboring West, East, and South African countries. Tiwa and T-Bills decided to finally move permanently to Nigeria for music's sake. Tiwa Savage already being a household name in the music industry, and T-Bills took the position of being Tiwa's manager. Don Jazzy, who earlier refused to sign Tiwa when she traveled to Nigeria, earlier came into the picture again, 'cause at that point, Jazzy and his ex-business partner D'banj just dissolved their famous Mohit record label over some business rift, and Jazzy was obliged to recruit few new talents for his new record label called the Maven Records. Jazzy, understanding music business and already saw Tiwa's talents being marketable, offered Tiwa Savage a deal. In Tiwa's word, that made her dream,
As it gave her the opportunity to work with Don Jazzy, as she has ever craved doing that. At this point, Tiwa Savage has realized her dream and was living big, but sustaining the stardom was the next phase of challenge for Tiwa. As Tiwa Savage later disclosed that she was in a romantic relationship with her 323 record label partner T-Bills, and they was engaged to get married, which later took place in Dubai. As so many guest celebrities flew to Dubai from Nigeria to honor the invitation of superstar Tiwa. Savage took a break from music for family after her wedding as she put to bed and welcomed together with T-Bills, their son, Jamil Balogun. About 1 year after birth, Tiwa was working hard to get back into shape, as music business demands you look your best, as it enhanced the branding side of the business. On the other side, Tiwa was recording new songs to mark her return with an album. She later was successful with both tasks as she dropped an album entitled RED, which was an acronym for Romance, Expression and Dance. The album was a good instrument for a comeback until she had to turn her back on music again, this time for family reasons. it happened that T-Bills, her husband, at that time came to the social media to put it out that Tiwa Savage mother was a witch and accused Tiwa Savage of infidelity.
If there's anything on my part that I've done, maybe I've not made you feel like a man, maybe I haven't loved you enough, maybe I've neglected some things that I can't think of. Tunji, I'm sorry because you know I tried everything, you know I love you so much, and I'm sorry. I never wanted to divorce, I never wanted to come to this, and I'm just really sorry, and I want him to get better. And I'm not saying this for the camera, but I'll always pray for him.
But Tiwa Savage went on a lengthy interview where she cried and addressed the public with a denial of every accusation her ex-husband has made, as she counters her husband's accusations. She also revealed her ex-husband T-Bills embezzles the money being paid for her appearance in concerts. And she also insinuated that T-Bills cheats on her with numerous ladies on a regular and was never financially there as the man of the family. First, Tiwa Savage sacked T-Bills as her manager and later went on to divorce him. After few years of Tiwa divorce, she was rumoured to be in a relationship with Wizkid, a rumour she neither debunked nor accepted. However, Tiwa's chemistry with Wizkid obviously showed they had a thing going on between them, as Tiwa also appeared as a video vixen on Wizkid's video for the song entitled Fever, but the public dropped this accusation when Wizkid publicly affirmed his relationship with his manager and lover Jada. After that, Tiwa Savage got back to music full-time and was very successful with every features and single she dropped, but as Tiwa's success grew above various roofs, as she chose to keep her relationship status off the media. But Tiwa Savage's expertise on keeping her relationship status off the media failed her when she was being blackmailed by a group of persons demanding huge sum of money in exchange of keeping an explicit sex video between Tiwa and her then-boyfriend, and this was in 2021. Tiwa refused even when she knew her refusal will be detrimental to her career. Anyways, the blackmailers later released the video involving Tiwa having sex to the public. Instead of getting backlash, the video attracted sympathy towards Tiwa. This made some critics to insinuate she masterminded it to promote her songs. But the truth was Tiwa never released any album at the time her sex tape was leaked. However, Tiwa Savage later parted ways with her loving boss after her contract with Maven Records elapsed, and she went on to be an independent artist. Her independency made her invest intentionally on herself and put out her choice of songs. That gave her multiple success that had Tiwa sharing the spotlight with American A-list artists. Beyoncé also featured Tiwa on her song entitled Keys to the Kingdom, as she kept on bagging multi-million fashion deals. She also signed a multi-million-dollar record deal with Universal record label in the United States of America. Tiwa Savage released her album entitled Celia under the umbrella of Universal Record. In her word, she said Celia was named after her loving mum. The album was well received globally, and that pitched Tiwa for a performance at the coronation of King Charles III in England after the passing of Queen Elizabeth. On July 2022, Tiwa Savage received an honorary degree from the University of Kent during a graduation ceremony at Canterbury Cathedral. She was awarded a Doctor in Music award for her inspirational and success career in music. Tiwa Savage have been accoladed with numerous awards, both locally and internationally, with being the only female singer who bagged an international record deal at her 40s, but in all ramifications through the low to the high tides, through her bullying and later being celebrated in her high school for her talent, being kicked out by her friend in Boston, and later renting her apartment in Los Angeles, quitting Western R&B and embracing African sound. You can tell Tiwa was resilience, unsettled, persistent about her dream when she left home and her mum for Boston, then left Boston for New York, and all the way to California, the city of dreams, before leaving for Nigeria, where she found her purpose. Sometimes your dream can take you 360 degrees around, through inconvenience. I bet Tiwa Biography will advise anyone out there not to relent, never surrender your purpose. Many people got lost in Los Angeles because they thought it was their destination. But the truth is it was only a transit point for Tiwa Savage. And if you can relate, where you are now might only be your transit to your dream or purpose. Keep believing as you work, keep the faith and keep pushing. Thanks for your attention till this point. Please remember to subscribe, share and smash the like button. Stay tuned for the next episode of All to Know.